is this the cause of these, other than COVID, cancer,
Yes,
and
cancer.
so many lifestyle diseases that are so rampant?
Yes, so this is explained in detail in my book, the same one what I mentioned earlier, Become Healthy or Extinct. Uh, and there's a chapter on cancer also in that book, which
Yeah.
explains the different forms of toxicity that have come into the human body.
Hmm.
Okay, through our various, through the environment, through our food, through cosmetics,
Hmm.
the kind of homes that we live in, and I've classified cancer into. I've given the real to closer to reality definition of
Hmm.
cancer,
Hmm.
and I've explained three types of cancers as energy cancers, which has got to do with environment and emotions and
Hmm.
bad relationships. And I've called substance cancers, which has got to do with anything that goes into the human body that is toxic. Even a hair shampoo, even
Even
nail
a
polish,
even a hair
even a hair
shampoo.
shampoo.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Which has got chemicals in it. Even a nail polish, if
Hmm.
it's got chemicals in it, and some of it gets into your skin.
Right.
So that's what I call a substance cancer. And then finally, there are parasitic cancers, which
Just.
are certain microorganisms that
Yeah.
have been proven to, eat up the cells inside the human body.
Hmm.
Um, so all of these things do not exist in, for example, indigenous tribes, people who have been always living in nature earlier,
Hmm.
and they have not subjected their lifestyles to any of these mediums of toxicity. So cancer is virtually absent over there. The only cancers that they may get are in some cases parasitic cancers, because there are parasites in in the forest and in villages, but none of those living in natural environments get energy cancers or substance cancers. The various forms of toxicity getting into the human body and causing cells to mutate and become tumors. And once you bring out these toxicities or eliminate them from the human body with various processes, then you can become cancer free.
So the various processes would be the what's happening in the hospitals now, radiation and chemotherapy. And
Yes, so a person who is having this, first it starts out as a tumor, and then when it's detected as malignant, then you come in the space of cancer. So people can read this chapter in my book and understand the difference between these three cancers. And first of all, do the recommended actions that I have given in the book of how to clear certain things which are corresponding to an energy cancer, and especially EMFs and continuous use of mobile. And now we have 5G also coming in, which is so many times more
yeah.
damaging of an electromagnetic field than 4G. So, and there are reports showing that there have been more and more disease outbreaks every time, from when we went to 2G to 3G and 4G. And right now in the world, for commercial interests, all those reports are being suppressed because they just want to bring in a higher, technology for more commercial benefits
Correct.
without caring for the common person. Now, if you have noticed that the common people have never asked for 5G. I don't know anybody, who's a user whose mobile phone is, got good at 4G or 3G,
Yeah.
or who's getting live stream movies on their TV. This ask is not from the people at all. It's only for by corporations and companies who have their own, agendas. Uh,
Yeah.
so, yes, so the first thing is to understand what are bad electricities. And so those are energies outside the human body. But the next is energies within the human body, which correspond to emotions like, continuous anger, grief, fear, hatred. Um, they also cause a uh, damage, energy damage to the cells if they are chronic and a long term thing. And then finally, so people can, the first is work on the environment and work with their relationships and emotions and, clear that out. There are so many techniques in the world for it.
Of course.
And the next is the substance cancer, where people can work on cleaning up all their diets and their products. So that's using, more natural foods and more natural products for your body. There's a chapter in my book called the Cleanse Therapy chapter, which helps you through with natural herbs, and certain steps to clean out toxicity from your kidney, from your colon, your intestine, your liver, gallbladder, all of that. And so that heals the organs, it rejuvenates them. And also, one consequence of healing and deep healing is you know uh, reverse reversing your age and looking younger, because your internal organs are purified, and then
Yeah.
your body gets purified from inside. And that's a process that I went through over 10 years, where I started getting younger and younger
Yeah.
after I cleansed my body completely. Yeah, so those pictures are there on my website. I've put a
Okay.
few sequence of pictures. Yeah.
And so, how old are you? It's not right to ask.
Now I'm 50 years old,
Oh,
and
and
yeah,
yeah,
so
and you're glowing and looking. Your skin is so tight and young. No Botox,
yeah, yeah.
just
I
detox.
I don't use deodorants also. So a lot of aging on the face and all comes from toxicity from food products, right? So once you clean up your diet, then you clean up your internal organs, then your body starts rejuvenating,
Right.
and you become, yeah, you look
Yeah.
younger once again.
We are what we eat, they say. Yeah, true.
Yes. So
I,
yes, so that is yeah, quite true. And I would like to add to it, we are what we think also,
yeah.
and we are what we choose in life. Yeah,
And
you choose a I mean a set of friends who are into too much of partying and drugs and smoking and all of that. You will become that, and you will express those illnesses.
right.
So it's what we choose in life, and what we
Yeah.
think also.
If we think of the Darwin theory, we think of this animal on all fours trying to get that apple on the tree and then soon be walking upright. So, has food from the beginning of time been an incentive for evolution?
One of the bigger incentives for evolution, right, has been change in environment, and of course the creativity of that organism. If we look at the apes or the chimpanzees from which we are supposed to have come off, they are still getting their regular food if they are in the forest,
Right.
right? What I subscribe to is, I'm a scientist at heart, and I work with natural sciences. I don't take any experiments that come out of labs,
Yeah.
and believe them. I test them with what I call living sciences that are present all around us, and you need to know how to use them and work with them.
Right.
So even on the topic of nutrition, all of the things that I check and I test have to prove themselves in nature, and not in a lab. A lab is, most of the lab experiments I've seen that the environment itself is faulty. It's not close to reality. So when you have a different environment, you come out with different results, and then you try to teach it to the whole world.
I read somewhere that scientists only want to prove what they want to. They prove only
Yes.
what they want to. Yeah.
Now
So,
you can imagine, you can imagine the frame of mind of reality of a scientist who's living in a concrete box and has gone to certain places and studied in similar environments. We have no connection with what real life is in the open, in the out. You see how energy flows, how nutrition flows, how it flows from natural soil into plants, from where does vitamin B12 bacteria come? It comes in rainwater, and then it falls into the soil. From the soil, it gets into the plants. From plants, it gets into the food that we eat, right? And if you're going to cook and clean all of our foods, you would not get soil organisms in it, and your gut microbiome will be deficient in natural bacteria. And then you'll have to go and make it in factories and start people, giving making people pop all the probiotic pills. So when you live in an artificial environment, you think artificially and you do artificially, and this is what life has come to. It's so
yeah.
artificial that people are dying of sickness and cancer. So that
Right.
at least should ring a bell that something is very wrong.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I came back into nature. And my advice is for people to I view as the whole living model on this planet has gone faulty, and it's very wrong. These concrete jungles that we have created, in which food is so far from people and has to be transported, and you don't know the grower, and you suspect them even if they say they're growing it naturally. Then it has to be processed, packaged, certified, and all of that. When I come here to Goa, people who come to buy things on my Earth Keepers market once a week, um, we get it from farmers over here who grow it naturally. There's no transit time. It's harvested in the morning, and in the evening it's sold to people, and they can cook it that same night and have it. So there's no need of preservatives in food and packing and all of that.
Right.
So there are tremendous implications for all, just by this model, because what we're trying to do here, what I'm trying to do in Goa is also with the larger community, trying to create food and jobs and employment locally.
Coming to also another question that is very important. Do you believe in life after death?